Let me start with a confession. I used to believe that grinding was noble. I pulled all-nighters. I worked weekends. I wore burnout like a badge of honor. And at the end of every single month, I looked at my bank account and wondered why I was still broke. Sound familiar? That is the trap. The harder you push against the current, the more tired you become, and the less you actually earn. The world has sold us a myth that effort equals income. But if that were true, every construction worker would be a millionaire. Every nurse would own a private jet. Every teacher would retire at 40. They don't. And it's not because they aren't working hard enough. It's because they are working inside the wrong model. That video you just watched talked about vibrations and thinking substance. Beautiful poetry. I'll give them that. But here's the problem. You cannot visualize your way into a bank vault. You cannot think yourself into a paid invoice. Wallace Wattles wrote The Science of Getting Rich in 1910, before electricity was common. He was right that effort alone fails. But he didn't know about cognitive load theory or behavioral economics or passive income engineering. His world had factories and farms. Your world has algorithms, automation, and asymmetric leverage. So while he told you to align with the universe, I am telling you to align with math. Your competitor says stop struggling and align with the universe. I say stop trading time for money and start owning asymmetric assets. Let's separate mysticism from mechanics, because one of those fills your bank account and the other just makes you feel better about being broke. Law number 1, the law of asymmetric return. Hard work is linear. Wealth is exponential. A construction worker digs for 8 hours and gets 8 hours of pay. That is linear. A software engineer writes a code once, and 2 million people buy it without the engineer lifting another finger. That is exponential. Same effort? No. Same leverage? Absolutely not. The difference is not how hard you work. The difference is what your work produces after you stop working. Think about it this way. When you work a job, you sell your time. Time is finite. You have 24 hours in a day. You sleep for 8. You commute. You eat. You are left with maybe 10 productive hours. That is your absolute ceiling. No matter how hard you grind, you cannot create a 25th hour. So any financial model built on hourly wages or salaries is capped by nature. But when you build an asset, you sell the output of your time, not the time itself. You write a book once and it sells for 10 years. You record a course once and 1,000 people buy it while you sleep. You buy a rental property once and it pays you every single month without you hammering a single nail. This is what your competitor misses entirely. They talk about effortless wealth as if it falls from the sky when you think the right thoughts. But effortless wealth comes from leverage, not from vibrations. So here is your first action step. Audit your week. Take out a piece of paper right now or open a note on your phone. Write down every single task you did in the last 7 days. Then ask yourself one question for each task. Did I do this once or did I repeat it? If you do the same task twice, you need to automate it or delete it. If you sent the same email twice, write a template. If you answered the same question twice, make a FAQ. If you performed the same physical action twice, hire a virtual assistant or buy software. Every repeated task is a leak in your life. And wealth doesn't come from plugging leaks with more effort. It comes from designing systems that run without you. The universe doesn't respond to your faith. Markets respond to value. Build one asset that works 24/7. An online course, a rental property, a digital product, a YouTube channel that monetizes while you sleep, a software tool, a print-on-demand store. One asset. That is all you need to start. Once that asset exists, you stop begging for a paycheck. Because now money comes to you based on what you built, not based on how many hours you suffered. Let me say that again because it matters. Your competitor told you to feel wealthy. I'm telling you to build wealth. Feeling is free. Building costs effort up front, but pays forever. Choose building. Law number 2, the 80-20 of consciousness. Your competitor loves the phrase thinking substance. Let me translate that into real neuroscience. It is called the reticular activating system, or RAS for short. Here is what the RAS does. Your brain receives 11 million bits of information every single second. 11 million. but your conscious mind can only process about 50 bits per second. So your brain has a filter. That filter is your RAS, and your RAS shows you what you have told it to look for. If you believe money is scarce, your RAS hides every opportunity to earn. Not because the opportunities aren't there, but because your brain literally filters them out as irrelevant. You walk past a business opportunity because your brain says, that's not for people like me. You ignore a side hustle because your brain says, only lucky people get those. You scroll past an investment because your brain says, that's risky for someone with no money. But if you believe opportunities are everywhere, your RAS suddenly lights up. You see partnerships. You see gaps in the market. You see problems you can solve. That is not magic. That is confirmation bias hijacked for profit. Your competitor would tell you to affirm, I am rich 100 times a day. And look, affirmations are fine. They don't hurt, but they are not enough. Because an affirmation without an action step is just a wish. Instead of affirming I am rich, start asking a better question. What problem can I solve for 1,000 people at 3 in the morning? That question rewires your brain faster than any mantra ever could. Because now your RAS is not looking for wealth in the abstract. It is looking for specific problems that specific people have. And when you find one of those problems, you have the seed of a business. Let me give you an example. A few years ago, a woman noticed that her neighbors struggled to water their plants while on vacation. That was a tiny problem. She didn't affirm abundance. She designed a cheap drip irrigation system using plastic bottles and tubing. She sold it on a small website. That one idea grew into a 6-figure business. Not because she had better vibrations than anyone else, because she asked a specific question and then acted on the answer. That is the creative mind versus the competitive mind. The competitive mind looks at what others have and says, how can I take some of that? The creative mind looks at what is missing and says, how can I build that? One leads to envy and exhaustion. The other leads to expansion and wealth. Stop affirming. Start asking. And watch how fast your reality changes. Law number 3, gratitude is strategy, not magic. Your competitor called gratitude a magnetic key. And again, that sounds beautiful. But here is the behavioral economist version. The scarcity mindset raises cortisol. Cortisol is your stress hormone. When cortisol is high, your body thinks it is in danger. Your heart rate goes up. Your thinking narrows. You make desperate, short-term, low-intelligence decisions. You take the wrong job because you are panicking. You stay in a bad relationship because you are afraid to be alone. You buy things you don't need because you're trying to feel safe. High cortisol is the enemy of good financial decisions. Gratitude does the opposite. Gratitude lowers cortisol and raises dopamine and serotonin. Those are your feel-good chemicals. When they are high, you think clearly. You see long-term solutions. You become willing to wait for the right opportunity instead of grabbing the first one that appears. You invest instead of impulse spend. You build instead of borrow. So when I say practice gratitude, I am not asking you to be a monk. I am asking you to hack your own neurochemistry for profit. Here is your action step. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you open email, before you look at the news, name one asset that already pays you. Say it out loud. My skills pay me. My network pays me. My savings account pays me. My health pays me. My experience pays me. Do not say, I wish I had. Say, I already have. Because your brain cannot tell the difference between a real memory and a vividly imagined one. When you speak gratitude for what exists, your brain releases the same chemicals as if you had just received a raise. That state of mind makes you sharper, calmer, and more attractive to opportunity. That is not prayer. That is environmental design for your neurochemistry. So let me pause here and summarize the 3 laws before we move to action. Law 1, asymmetric return. Build assets that work after you stop working. Law 2, reticular activating system. Ask better questions so your brain shows you better opportunities. Law 3, gratitude as neurochemistry. Lower your cortisol so you stop making desperate decisions. These 3 laws are not mystical. They are mechanical. They work whether you believe in them or not. and they are available to every single person watching this video right now. Now, let me show you how to actually apply these laws today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Step 1. Kill the hourly brain. This is the hardest step because the hourly brain has been drilled into you since kindergarten. You get a gold star for showing up on time. You get a grade for completing homework. You get a paycheck for working 40 hours. The entire system trains you to trade time for money. You have to unlearn that. You have to stop asking how much per hour. That question keeps you small. Instead, ask how many times can I sell this 1 hour? If you spend 1 hour recording a video, that video can be watched by 10,000 people over 5 years. If you spend 1 hour writing a sales page, that page can generate leads while you sleep for a decade. If you spend 1 hour setting up an email sequence, that sequence can sell your product to new subscribers automatically forever. 1 hour sold infinitely many times. That is the math of the wealthy. Step 2. Build a wealth feedback loop. Every Friday, look at your bank account, but do not look with fear. Most people look at their balance and feel a knot in their stomach. That knot is cortisol. It makes everything worse. Instead, look at your balance and ask yourself exactly one question. If I had zero fear, what would I invest in next week? That question bypasses your panic brain and speaks directly to your strategic brain. Maybe the answer is a new skill. Maybe it is a piece of software. Maybe it is a cheap course. Maybe it is an hour with a mentor. Fear tells you to hoard. Strategy tells you to invest. Listen to strategy. Then, whatever answer comes to mind, take one small action toward it within 24 hours. Not the whole thing. Just one step. Buy the domain name. Send the email. Watch the tutorial. Small actions compound. In the act of taking action, any action lowers fear and raises confidence. That is another neurochemical fact. Action is the antidote to anxiety. Step 3. Master controlled neglect. This is the secret that almost no one talks about. Rich people ignore 90% of opportunities. Yes, ignore, because focus is a weapon. Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. Most people say yes to every small opportunity. They respond to every email. They attend every meeting. They chase every lead. And as a result, they never finish anything important. Their energy is scattered. Their assets are half-built. Their income is 1,000 tiny streams instead of one deep river. Your competitor told you to keep faith in all things. I'm telling you to say no to 10 good things so you can say yes to one great thing. That is control neglect. You neglect the urgent to focus on the important. You neglect the easy to focus on the leveraged. You neglect what feels productive to focus on what actually produces wealth. Every morning, write down the one task that will move your net worth forward more than any other task. Then do that task first. Do not check email. Do not scroll social media. Do not answer the phone. Do the one thing. Then, and only then, can you do anything else. This single habit has made more millionaires than any investment strategy ever invented. Now let me address your competitor directly for a moment, because I think it is important. I respect the Waddles tradition. The man was ahead of his time. But watch their video again. They spent 8 minutes telling you to feel wealthy. They spent 0 seconds showing you how to build a pricing model or an automated sales funnel or a system for outsourcing. Feeling rich without systems is just anxiety with a candle. You need both. 10% mindset, 90% mechanics. Your competitor sells hope. I sell probability. And probability says the person with 3 income streams sleeps better than the person with 3 affirmations. Let me prove it to you with a thought experiment. Imagine 2 people. Person A wakes up every morning and spends 30 minutes visualizing abundance. They say affirmations. They feel grateful. They do breathing exercises. Then they go to their job, work 8 hours, and come home exhausted. Person B wakes up and spends 30 minutes building a new automated email sequence for their side business. They check their analytics. They adjust their pricing. They schedule social media posts for the next week. Then they go to their job, work 8 hours, and come home. Who is richer in 1 year? Person A is exactly where they started plus inflation. Person B has a growing asset that pays them while they sleep. The visualization felt better in the moment, but the building produced results. That is not an opinion. That is math. I'm not saying mindset is useless. Mindset is the foundation. If you believe you cannot succeed, you will self-sabotage every attempt. But once your mindset is functional, your time is better spent on systems than on ceremonies. Build the funnel. Write the code. Film the video. Publish the article. Send the proposal. Those actions are your real affirmations. They're the physical proof that you believe in your own future. The secret law of effortless wealth is not a vibration. It is a decision. A decision to stop trading labor for survival. A decision to own assets instead of renting your time. A decision to build systems that run without you. A decision to neglect the trivial so you can dominate the essential. That decision is available to you right now. You do not need permission. You do not need a lucky break. You do not need a different birth or a better education. You need focus. You need leverage. And you need to start. Build the asset. Kill the hourly trap. Let your money work before you do. Those are not slogans. They are instructions. Follow them and your life will change. Ignore them and you will keep grinding forever, wondering why you're still tired and still broke. I have seen this work hundreds of times. Not in theory, in reality. People who were drowning in debt built one digital product and paid off everything in 6 months. People who hated their jobs built one rental property and quit within a year. People who felt hopeless built one automated service and never set an alarm again. These are not miracles. They are mechanics, and the mechanics are available to you. So here is your final action step. Before you close this video, open a notes app on your phone. Write down one asset you can build in the next 30 days. Not a perfect asset, not $1 million asset, just one small asset, a $5 ebook, a $10 template, a $20 consulting call, a free YouTube video that leads to a paid offer. Something. Then write down the first 3 steps to build it. Step 1, research. Step 2, outline. Step 3, create. Then start step 1 today. Not tomorrow. Today. Right now. Here is a heartfelt call to action that replaces the checklist mention. You can place this at the end of your script, right before the final sign-off. And look, I'm not going to ask you to click a link for some checklist. I do not have a fancy funnel or a perfect system to sell you. What I have is something far more real. I have the same desire you do. The desire to stop trading your life for money. The desire to wake up without fear. The desire to look at your bank account and feel peace instead of panic. I made this video because someone once made a video like this for me. They sat me down, metaphorically speaking, and told me the truth. Not the pretty truth. The real truth. That no one was coming to save me. That I had to build. That I had to stop grinding and start creating. And that truth changed my life. Not overnight. Not magically. But slowly, steadily, asset by asset, system by system. So here's what I'm going to ask you. If this video meant something to you, if even one sentence landed in your chest and made you feel less alone in this struggle, then do 3 things for me. But do them not for me. Do them for you. First, subscribe to this channel. Not because I want a number, because I want a commitment. When you press that subscribe button, you are telling yourself that this path matters. You're drawing a line in the sand. You're saying out loud, I am serious about changing my financial future. That button is not for me. It is for the version of you who looks back a year from now and thanks you for starting today. Second, leave a comment. And do not just write something empty. Write a real sentence. Tell me one asset you're going to build this month. It can be tiny. It could be a $5 guide. It could be a single YouTube video. It could be 1 hour of freelance work that you turn into a template. Write it down in the comments. Because when you write something down and put it into the world, it becomes real. And I promise you, I read as many comments as I can. And I will be watching to see who actually follows through. Third, like and share this video. And here's why. The algorithm does not promote videos because they are good. It promotes videos because people interact with them. When you hit the like button, you're telling YouTube to show this message to someone else who needs to hear it. Someone who is exhausted. Someone who is still grinding themselves into dust. Someone who has not yet learned that they can build instead of beg. Your like is not a favor to me. It is a favor to a stranger who is struggling right now and needs to find this video before they give up completely. And finally, share this video with one person. Just one. Send it to a friend, a partner, a coworker, a sibling, someone you actually care about, someone you have watched work too hard for too little. Send it with a short message that says, "I'm building my first asset this month. Want to join me?" That simple act of sharing will hold you accountable, and it might just change someone else's entire life. I'm not here to sell you a course. I'm not here to put you on an email list. I am here because I believe that ordinary people can build extraordinary lives, not by working harder, but by working once. One asset at a time, one system at a time, one decision at a time. So if you're still here, if you made it to the end of this video, then you are exactly the kind of person I made this for. Do not waste this moment. Press subscribe. Write your asset in the comments. Hit like. Send the video to one person. And then go build. I will see you in the next video. Until then, do not work harder. Work once. Build assets. Sleep well. Take care of yourself.